What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to another great episode. We're learning about something new today, but before we do that, you know what time it is?
Go ahead.
Rate. I mean, you can't rate on YouTube, but give us a thumbs up,
Yeah,
subscribe, share this video with someone that you loved. It's the best way to support us so we can keep doing this. But today, we're learning about Rosehill Cemetery.
Yeah, we cemetery walkers today.
No, don't say that. We're not.
We could be. This might be a new thing for us. Anyway, we're talking about Rosehill Cemetery, and you're probably familiar with it, but we're gonna give you some breakdown, some history,
some fun facts,
some
not so fun facts.
It was opened in 1859, right here in the area, and this area was kind of like a garden. So this is a garden cemetery, and so a lot of the area around the area back in the day was all garden, and like they would provide the flowers for this cemetery. Matter of fact, this is Chicago's largest cemetery at 350 acres. Absolutely massive as the wind freezes us.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about what this area was before its opening. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the opening day, but before we get to that...
Yeah, let's talk about like how it was named.
Yeah,
because that's a story
It's a little
in
bit
itself.
of a legend.
It's a little bit of a legend. Let's move around and
talk about that.
Talk about it. Let's go. All right, so how did it get its name, Rosehill Cemetery, Rosehill? Well, back in the day, like I said, this was kind of like a farmland for flowers and other farm type things. It's prairie land, right?
Yeah.
There was a guy by the name of Hiram Rowe who owned this land.
Yep.
And the city wanted to build around him. And he refused to give up the land. It was his land. He didn't want to give it up. And so... back and forth with the city, right? They came to the deal, so to say, that Hiram said, if you name this cemetery after me,
you can have it.
You can have it. And so they made that promise. The city said, sure, we got you, big dog. And so that's where the issue kind of comes in, because we don't know if it was intentional or not. When it came time to name this, the city clerk, the legend has it, that a city clerk, upon naming it, when they said, hey, this is Rosehill, what did you say? Rosehill? She wrote R-O-S-E Hill instead of Hiram Rowe, R-O-E, Rose, R-O-E apostrophe S, Hill. And so the legend has it, it was named Rosehill because of that clerk error.
I did find a couple other things about this legend of a name. I found an article that said there's actually no city record of a Hiram Rowe. Like he did not exist. This was all word of mouth. And actually Rosehill was in reference to it means King's Hill. So that is what people think it might have been.
Take me to the king. Yes, perfect place for it.
No, enough of that. But yeah, so the name, we don't really know where it came from.
Exactly.
It could be because flowers grew here. It could be because Hiram Rowe. It could be because it was King's Hill, because it's kind of high ground in comparison with the prairie around it. But it was also because the reason that they wanted to build it here specifically is because everything was kind of like marshy, wet prairie land. But this hill was yellow soil. And so it was perfect for what they wanted to do. They had
digging people in.
Easier to dig than marshy land.
Makes sense.
And it was also because there were so many trees growing in its surroundings. So they were like, it's already perfect.
There's a lot of trees.
Yeah, a lot of trees. And so they kind of wanted to pick this location for those reasons. But one of the coolest things about this place is the entryway.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I feel like it's, as we talk about the entryway.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
I got it. I'll take this one. So the entryway. If you ever come here, this gateway is like massive, right? It is massive.
It's beautiful.
Not only is it beautiful and massive, but it probably reminds you of something.
Yeah.
This was built in 1864, I believe it was, by a guy named William H. Boyington. And he created this with the Joliet limestone. The same architecture. The same architect that built the Chicago Water Tower.
Yeah.
He built this with the same stone. And so if you look at it, castle-like.
It kind of gives the same vibes.
Identical. When we first came here, we thought that immediately.
Yeah. which is, I mean, that's why it's so cool. I feel like definitely something that you should come and check out if you haven't. If you don't want to come into the cemetery, you can obviously see it from the outside, and it has the historic Rosehill Cemetery bell that you just heard chime. I was just distracted by the train because my part of the story, which is opening day, has to do with that train tracks that's right there. But I want to go to the church that's a little bit further in and the mausoleum to tell you that story. So let's get over there.
Let's get it.
All right, so opening day was July 28th, 1859, and it was a series of trains that came and picked people up. There was 20 trains that traveled from Evanston, from all over the city to bring people to see this opening day of the cemetery. 8,000 people showed up.
Wow, for an opening day for a cemetery?
And there were picnics. People were coming around to see the space. It was beautiful. Like you said, it was kind of a garden. I mean, it was very, in the Tribune article that talks about it, it says it was a beautiful day upon our lake. It was the breeze from the lake was coming into the cemetery. It was absolutely beautiful. Remember that the lake was not where it is now. It was probably a little bit closer. So they were getting that like breeze from the lake. And it said it was a great summer day, and people were picnicking. Now, one of the things that happened was the Masonic fraternity came down to kind of bless this area and start the chapel that was going to be in the center of the cemetery. So they drove from the entrance to the center of the cemetery, and they laid down the cornerstone that says this stone, and I think it specifically said like this stone was laid by, and the name of the guy.
Oh wow!
July 28th, 1859, and it ended up becoming this chapel behind us that was built as their main chapel for the church.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
All right, one really cool thing that I found in that article is that referenced this area as the town of Chittenden. Chittenden.
This was the town of Chittenden?
Yes, it was part of Lakeview Township. It was not part of Chicago. And so later on, it said it was 6.5 miles north of the city. And all the trains that ran that day were actually for free. So no one had to pay for the trains coming down this way.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Of the 8,000, I wonder how many people were relatives of loved ones that passed away.
Well, I mean, think of like probably not a lot of people were buried here yet. I mean, this was just like the opening. No one was here yet. They wanted to come and see this, like the largest cemetery. I mean, it was huge, right?
Still to this day.
The stone that I mentioned, that was the cornerstone that they laid in the bottom of this. So they all stood hand in hand in a circle and they prayed over it, and they poured oil and wine all on the stone to kind of bless it and say a little prayer for it that eventually became this chapel. But
I wish we could see it.
I know. I'm thinking we circled around it and we can't find it. I'm thinking it's like the base, like they
probably makes sense.
Like in the ground they laid the first, because this church wasn't done.
It wasn't
chapel wasn't done.
But I mean, I'm sure if we talk to the right people, we can get up inside there.
Yeah, it looks really beautiful from the outside. It's very like
this is nice.
Large stone.
Strong brick.
And one of the stone that was laid was actually Athenian marble.
Oh wow! Also, it's not going nowhere.
Yeah, it's very cool. But another cool thing is the amount of famous people that are buried here.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna talk about it because like this, you've probably heard of Graceland Cemetery. A lot of notable names there.
Yeah.
But wait till you hear who's here. So
crazy.
Let's go. All right, before we get out of here, we got to list the names of people that are buried here because it's a crazy list. And I got my phone here, so bear with me here. I gotta go down the list. Also, first and foremost, there's several Chicago mayors here.
Yeah, several.
Yes, and then also this is a huge cemetery for war vets and things like that. So and
Civil War,
vets and things like that. All of them are here. A lot of them are here. But here's the list of other names you may have heard of. We definitely talked about on the podcast, and some we haven't. First, Max Adler, the Adler Planetarium. William Boynton, the guy who built the Gateway.
Yep.
Jack Brickhouse, famous Hall of Fame broadcaster. Charles Dawes, who we think we were in front of his
So
we think we were.
his burial.
He was the 30th VP of the United States, and we talked about him during
Our Evanston episode. Go check that out because we were in
Daniel
his house.
Burnham. Yeah, we were talking about Daniel Burnham. Milton S. Florsheim. Go back to that
Wow.
episode.
We didn't do an episode on Florsheim.
We didn't, but check out the reel. John D. Hertz, the founder of Hertz. Ida Sophia Hippach, a Titanic survivor.
Oh.
Yeah. Hold this. Let me switch hands.
Okay.
John H. Kedzie.
Mm-hmm.
Kedzie.
Yep.
Oscar Mayer.
Oh, the Oscar Mayer sausage.
Yes. He's buried here.
Wow.
Richard Sears, founder of Sears. Julius Rosenwald, founder of the Museum of Science and Industry.
Oh wow.
He's here. Ignace Schwinn, founder of Schwinn Bike. Henry Windsor, founder of Popular Mechanic magazine.
Oh.
Huge magazine. Yeah.
Wow.
John G. Shedd Aquarium. And the last one we're in front of right now, which is really dope. We probably have to do an episode on this, but we're standing in front of right here. This monument here is for Eliza Chapel Porter, and she was Chicago's first public school teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, Chicago's first public school teacher is right
wild.
here. Yeah, amazing.
Her whole family too.
Yeah, the whole family is right here.
Whole Porter family is buried here.
Pretty cool.
That's really cool. All right, we got one last stop before we get out of here. We're going to the mausoleum. It's really cool. We got to talk a little bit about it.
Let's get it.
All right, so right now we are in front of the Rosehill Mausoleum, which was built in 1914 by Sidney Lovell. And what's really cool about this one is not only is it in Chicago's largest cemetery, but it's also Chicago's largest mausoleum.
Oh, wow.
So it's 2 floors. One of them is a basement. As you can see, there's no second floor.
Yeah.
And so there's many people, kind of like families, bought rooms. And a couple really cool things about it is it's almost entirely made out of marble.
Oh, wow.
And the inside, some of the rooms have stained glass that was designed by Tiffany.
Oh, my God. I wish we could.
I know. I think
you can kind of see up in there.
You can kind of see up in there, but to enter the rooms, you have to be part of the family and you have to have a key to go into the family rooms, I believe.
Beautiful.
So
we don't belong in there.
No.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so that's basically Rosehill Cemetery. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you like that history. There's a ton here. Obviously, if you do decide to come, please be respectful. This is a burial ground. You want to be respectful of everyone that's buried here. But there's a lot of really incredible people that are buried here. So you can come and pay your respect and visit their sites as well as experience some history. And so if you like this episode and you stay till the end, go ahead and leave a church symbol.
Yeah. Any one of them.
Emoji.
Several of them.
There's, I don't know what other emoji. A snowflake because it's freezing out here.
Yeah, right.
And give us a thumbs up because it is freezing, and we want to keep doing this. This is
the first taste of wintertime.
First taste of winter. Yeah, and it's 20 degrees out here.
But we dedicated to this. Let's get it.
We are dedicated, and we'll see you next week. Peace.